All right, Algebra 2, welcome to your first instructional video here after the first day. So if you are in cohort A, we started learning about this today. If you are in cohort B, you'll begin this tomorrow, and then you'll watch this on Wednesday. All right, so what we got here, this is page 1. This is page 1. Number 2, we're going to try to make a good video here. Number 2 says evaluate each expression if m is 14 and p is -2. So we're going to plug 14 in for m. We can see that well. Plus 5 minus a -2. And then I'm going to square it again. We talked about today in class to subtract a negative. I'm subtracting a debt from you, which means I'm giving you money. You were $2,000 in debt. You're no longer in debt. You've been gifted $2,000. That's why we add the opposite. That's 7, and I'm going to square it. Order of operation says handle what's inside that parenthesis first, that operation. Then got an exponent situation here. 7 squared is not 14. It's 7 times 7, 49. 63. There is our answer. I'm going to try this here with the phone in the tripod. So let's see what we get. Moving that over. B. M divided by P. All right, we clearly have division first. 14 divided by -2. And this is the type of work, again, I want to see always. All right, some of you can type that in, get the answer right away. Let's not be in the practice of that. When you take a quiz or a test in front of me in class, whenever that can occur, then you can save on work, but not now. Anyway, -7 plus 13 is 6. And that is number 2 there on the first page. See my documents here. Do a few things. Going on to the next page at number 4. Again, the ones I don't do in class that are in the notes section, I will do with you here. If it is in the hashtag game time section and I don't do it in class, nor do I do it in a video, you guessed it, that's homework. All right. Let's talk about number 4. Evaluate if x is a -3. So negative, can we see that one? Yep. -3 to the 4th minus 5w over y to the 3rd plus 2w. Again, when I have a rational function, numerator or denominator, written as a fraction, I need to handle the numerator on its own. -3 to the 4th power is a -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. That's a positive 81. It's a negative times a positive times a positive. So it's a negative, what is that, 20 times 2. 2 to the 3rd, it's not 6, it's 8. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. It's feeling great, look at that. The rhyme is free for you. I think I'm going to make it here. 81 minus 40 is 41 over 16. Love fractions, leave it like that. Don't worry about the decimal. Okay, on 5, I would like to help you with C and D. This is kind of because I've saved it. And it's in Internet Explorer here. I have to do this bouncing around. But it's the least of our worries right now. Okay, I'm going to do C and D with you. J squared. And what's J? -1 minus 3 times H, which is 4 squared times, can we see that? We can. Times K, which is 3, all over J, which is a -1 to the 3rd power, plus 2. Handle that numerator as its own problem, the denominator as its own problem too. So first off, -1, the second is -1 times a -1, which is a +1. Minus, I need to handle this exponent first. 4 squared is 16, so 3 times 16 times 3 all over. -1 to the 3rd is -1 times -1 times -1, which is a -1, plus 2. All right, so what we got here is 3 times 16 times 3. It's going to be 144. So 1 minus 144 1 minus 144. So 144. All over 1. Negative 143 over 1, which is a negative 143. Okay, if I ever make a boo-boo, let me know in the comments. We'll take a look at that. I'm feeling pretty good about that one, though. All right. So on page 2, everything else was either gonna be in a video or on your own. Let's go to page 3 in the hashtag game time section. So say cohort A did a great job today. No complaints at all. Fantastic. I know B's going to do a good job as well. We're going to make it through, folks. All right. Take a look at number 2 here. Can you see? You can see. 2 times A plus B plus 4, all of that squared. All right, order of operations says handle that parenthesis first. I got 6, and I'm going to square it. It's not a negative. I don't need to put in parentheses, but it's a good habit to get into. Negative 6 plus 6 squared is 36. It gives me a cool 30. 3 needs to be in the video. A plus 5. What's B squared? Again, it's when I'm not squaring a negative, I don't necessarily use the parentheses that much. Okay, so let's move you over a little bit there. Cool, and we're learning. Minus, let's see, 5 minus a negative 3. Negative 3 plus 5. All right, so gonna have 4 minus 5 minus a negative 3 would be 5 plus 3. If I'm subtracting a negative 3, I'm subtracting a debt of 3 away from you. I'm really giving you imaginary $3. That's why this is going to be 8. To add the opposites. Order of operations says, handle that parenthesis there. 4 minus 8 is going to be a negative 4. Which now you can see. 5 times a negative 4 needs to happen first. Negative 3 minus 20 is a negative 23. Order of operations, folks. All right. All about the order of operations. Then I would like to do 6 and 8 with you on this page. If I did not do one in class or in the video, or remember there's 2 videos. There are 2 videos, and I'll show you that there's already one up there. Anything I don't do, I get tongue-tied because I've already spoken more today than I might have in a whole week during the summer. All right. 6A, which is negative 3, is going to be squared, plus 6 times C, which is 5, divided by 3B minus 2A. All right. Can you see? You can't see. Negative 3 squared right there. Negative 3 squared is a positive 9. 6 times 5 is a 30. Divided by 3 and 2 give you 6. Think about this as a negative 2 times a negative 3. It's a positive 6. If not, I would have given you 39 divided by 0. I'm not going to give you something that's undefined yet. Not yet. All right. I got 39 over 12, which if you divide everything by 3 is that, or 3 1/4, okay? Either or on that one. Let's talk about number 8. Let's talk about 8. Right here, change color. 4B, what's B2? Should have these memorized by now. 4B plus 3A over 7 minus C. All right, looking good. 4 times 2, that's a positive 3 times a negative 3, so that's a negative 9 all over 2. -1/2 is our answer there when we simplify. And as I said, I'm going to give you some answers here for page 4 on the next one. Keep it going. Clear that. I'm going to have this a smooth operation here. Nope. And there we go. We want that. Go to page 4. And I need to do number 11. That's for sure. On 11. Let's see what we got. 11 says W minus 3x plus y divided by 3. So here's what I got. Got multiplication, then I got division. I can do those at the same time. That is a -3 times 8 plus -6 divided by 3 is a -2. All right? Multiplication and division are on the same level. You do those before addition. All right, I think we got -30. We got -30. Order of operations, folks. Follow them and you're going to be in good shape. Let's do 14. Oh man, 14 is easy. But we'll do 14 real quick. Scroll on down. Anyway, again, and get yourself a calculator in the next few days or be prepared to borrow one of mine as long as we can clean it well. 14 says -4 times W. Is W 8? W is not. W is -4. Times X, which is 8. Times Z, which is 1/2 or 0.5. That gives you 16. This gives you 4. 16 times 4 is 64. That's one way to handle it. Do show good work on that. Are you guys able to see all that? I didn't even check. Okay, that was number 14. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. 16 over here. I think you can, or 15 that is. I think you can catch that. So I have 4. I just put in 8 for X. Z is 0.5. Divided by W, which is a -4, plus Y, which is a -6, but it's getting squared. So you must, this multiplication here, that's 32, half of that is 16. So again, I have multiplication, then I have division. I need to do the multiplication first. Next comes the division. Now I do have an exponent. It's all by itself, so I can handle it by itself. -6 squared is 36. All right. We'll do that division next. That's -4 plus 36 is 32. All right. Order of operations. Then we're going to talk about 17 there, and that would conclude section 1.1. So if I do not do any of these questions in video or in class, think of them as, don't fall over, think of them as your homework. All right, boom. Now we're getting the movements down. 17. All right, we have 9 times X, which is 8, times Z, which is 0.5, divided by 2 times W times Y plus X Z. All right. So handle this numerator first. I'm going to highlight it in blue. 72 times 1/2 is 36. Handle the denominator next. -8 times a -6 is 48, plus, off by itself, 4. This is 3/4. You can call it 0.75. Add it to 4, 4 3/4. 4 3/4. And that concludes section 1.1. I'm going to give you a little bit of help here on a few on page 5 to start section 1, 2, and a few on page 6, and then that will be a lovely little lesson video for today. All right. Next page. Find the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse for each number. Okay, I left out the title of this section. You did have before, you had a long warm-up, but we are eliminating the warm-ups because we've got to get straight into learning each day. I want to do 3, 6, and 8 for sure. So on 3, we have the additive inverse and then the multiplicative inverse. Additive inverse are opposites, okay? So the additive inverse would be, what do I add to 1 1/4 to get 0? It's negative 1 1/4. Now the multiplicative inverse, what do I multiply 1 1/4 by to get 1? Well, here's what we got to do. First off, a quarter, we're going to rewrite that. That's a fourth, okay? But we're going to need to write this as an improper fraction. I think you guys learned some sort of, probably can't see that, it's better now, some sort of snowball method. How am I going to write this in an improper fraction? I do 1 times 4, the whole part times the denominator, which is 4, then I add it to the numerator. This is 5/4. So the multiplicative inverse here is another name for the reciprocal. It'll be 4/5. If I multiply 5/4 by 4/5, I get 1. That's the name of the game. All right, so we'll talk about these obviously in class, but here is how we can start to do them. So the additive inverse, you can work ahead. The additive inverse would just be 5/8. The multiplicative inverse, so reciprocals have the same sign. A negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a positive is also positive, because we're going to multiply to get 1. Okay, they need to be the same side. Anyway, I just flip it, good. Negative 5/8 would be my multiplicative inverse there. And let's go on 8 here. There we go. So my additive inverse, won't be too picky there. Additive inverse, just going to be the opposite, 4 1/3. Now, be very careful here. I have a negative 4 1/3. That's not a whole number there. It's an integer, so I do negative 4 times 3. That's a negative 12. Then I negative 4 times 3. All right, so I have to be careful here. Negative 4.3 repeating. All right. Here's the problem, folks. When, that's my goal. I need to get something like that. If I do negative 4 times 3, that's a negative 12. If I add 1 to it, it's a negative 3 over 11. And a negative 3 over 11 is a negative 3.6. Repeating. All right, that's not what you want. So what you're going to do, you're going to do negative 4 times 3, get negative 12. Then you're going to move it over 1. Not really adding 1 to it, but you're making that 12 bigger by calling it 13 and just putting the negative there. Now, if you want, just do 4 times 3, which is 12. Add 1 to it. That's how you get 13. And attach the negative sign. See, if you do it like we just did before with the 1 times 4, add 1. If you do negative 4 times 3 and get negative 12, negative 12 plus 1 is that, negative 11/3, and that's not what you want. You want negative 13 over 3 because it's actually negative 4.3 repeating. All right, so again, do 4 times 3, that's 12. Add 1 to it, that's 13. Then give it the negative sign. All right, so negative 4 1/3 is negative 13 over 3, which means its multiplicative inverse is negative 3 over 13. All right. And we are going to then go to the next page. And I'm going to end this long video by doing 2 of them on the next page. And then that will be pretty good. You'll be able to finish section 1, and 1, 2 in with me, and then on your own. Let's take a look at 14. All right. Distribute. 15x. The arrows mean multiplication minus because it's 5 times 4. 5 times a negative 4, that is. A positive times a negative. 20y. A negative times a positive is minus 10x. We're multiplying. A negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 3, 6y. Like terms, put the x's and the y's together. 15x minus 10x is 5x. That is a negative 20. And to negative 20, you're adding 6. To negative 20, you are adding 6. Negative 20 plus 6 is a negative 14. 5x minus 14y is what we got there. And the last question for us here, about my longest video in a while. Number 17. It's in the hashtag game time section, folks. So you can get a nice little start here. All right, on 17, you can see 17 there. Negative times positive is a negative 18x. Negative times a negative is 15y. Negative times a negative is a 10x. Negative times a negative is a 6y. Negative 8x. Plus, again, combine like terms. You had a negative 18 plus 10. That's how you get a negative 8x. You have a positive 15 plus 6. That's how you get a 21y. Show all that good work there, folks. That is how you simplify. We'll talk about more of those on Wednesday or Thursday. And then Friday, I'll get you started on something new, everybody. That's remote. And we're off to a good start. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.